Welcome to a fresh edition of Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Now the headlines. Power sector communicators taxed on communication to create impact. Committee submits pre-qualification report for Northern Corridor Transmission Project. TCN trains engineers on installation, maintenance of power transmission circuit breakers. The Power Wheel team recently visited the Dogongeri KNG Transmission Substation in Niger State, where the KNG hydropower plant is sited. The Senior Manager System Operations of TCN at the substation, Engineer Abubakar Ahmed, in an interview speaks on the operations of the facility. Ensure you stay with us to enjoy this package as we bring you more informative reports in the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NESI. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. Communication specialists in the Nigerian power sector agencies have been tasked on strategic communication actions that could create impact and change behavior of people towards embracing development in the sector.
The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Muhammad, gave the advice when TCN hosted meeting of the Power Sector Communication Team, PSCT, at the TCN headquarters in Abuja. Mr. Mohammed identified with their objectives as a trained development communication specialist. He outlined what the role of a communication specialist should be, especially in changing behavior, as he said.
As a communication specialist, actually, what are you trying to do? What you are trying is to change behavior. Every message that you are sending, if it does not change behavior, it does not amount to nothing. You have to change behavior. That is what is important. To make somebody to think different from the way he think before.
Explaining the motive of the Power Sector Communication Team, PSCT, to the TCN MD earlier, one of the coordinators, Mrs. Awele Okibu, explained that the program was set up 5 years ago to seamlessly coordinate all forms of communication and media engagements by the various agencies in the power sector.
TCN has been an active participant and supporter of this body, and we want to thank you for hosting us.
Speaking on the achievements of TCN since he assumed office as the MD CEO in 2017, he said more transformers and substations have been energized and commissioned. The frequency stability of the national grid has been enhanced, and efforts are ongoing to install the supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA system to monitor the grid remotely.
Transmission rehabilitation and expansion program that we are doing is fixing all the control rooms across the nation. That is fixing the deficiencies in the control room. Every control room that we are rehabilitating or we are touching, we are digitalizing the control. We are digitalizing the control room.
Mr. Mohammed said the investment being done on the side of power transmission may not be visible by the general public if commensurate investments are not done in the networks of distribution companies, DISCOs. He called for the recapitalization of the DISCOs to increase funding for the needed investments.
We are taking steps to completely, we are not saying transmission have solved all its problems, but we have taken steps to solve all our problems. But the reality of the matter is that all these things that we are doing, less than 20 customers are connected to the grid directly. Therefore, no Nigerians will feel it. Therefore, we have decided to write to the government to capitalize DISCO, as I told you. And that is what we are campaigning for, and that's what we want you to support, the capitalization of the DISCOs, so that we can solve the problem of electricity in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says it has completed the pre-qualification evaluation report on the Northern Corridor Transmission Project that seeks to strengthen key transmission lines in the north and to build a 330 kV transmission line from Burning KB up to Katsina State to close the transmission gap around the axis.
Handing over the reports to the Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, in his office at the TCN headquarters in Abuja, the head of the Pre-Qualification Committee and General Manager, Engineering at TCN, Engineer Geoffrey Nwokoye, said,
"We have actually gone through the documents submitted and we have come with the reports of that pre-qualification. And that is it here. We want to submit it to you from this.
Congratulations. 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 Thank you, sir.
Responding, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed thanked the committee for delivering the report for the Northern Corridor projects. He said the project was key to the success of the West African Power Pool and its North Core projects.
The single circuit line that run from KNG to Kebbi and Sokoto, you cannot build a double circuit on top of a single circuit. So it is this line that will enable the North Core project to take place because it is this 330 kV double circuit line from KNG to Kebbi to Sokoto that will enable the North Core to take place. This project is also very important in the sense that the desire of Nigeria to build a solar IPP akin to the Marrakesh solar IPP in Morocco will only be realized that if we do this project, because the evacuation corridor that will evacuate is the 1,000 megawatt of power from Gwiwa solar IPP complex will be evacuated by this line.
Mr. Mohammed said the transmission line from the Shiroro hydropower plant in Niger State to Kaduna State is heavily constrained and that the project will upgrade it along with other milestone achievements.
This project will clear it and make it a code line. So I am very happy with this pre-qualification that they have done. We are going to review it. I will forward it to the head TSP. It will be reviewed immediately. And once we finish the review, we will forward it to the French Development Agency. And I believe that they will quickly review and come back to us. You know, the French Development Agency, our preferred partner, they have been doing very well. And we have been working with them very well. We are actually very grateful to them.
In his remarks, the head transmission service provider, TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, said he was hopeful the company will get the best of contractors to handle the project after the French Development Agency, AFD, the founding partner, returned the pre-qualification reports.
We want our project to attract best of the best. We no longer want contractors that we start 18-month projects, 18 months projects, and be implementing it for 10 years. So we want good quality materials, a contractor that will deliver the project as soon as possible within the time framework of the project. So we'll review it, and we're only hoping for the best. Thank you. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Also urging the committee to give TCN the best in the operations, the head system operations at TCN, Engineer Maman Lawal, said,
"We trust will give us the best, consistent with the standards already set. Once again, I will let you for a job well done." Thank you very much.
Let's take a break for a message. We'll be right back.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, the same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right of way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right of way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the Management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
A cross-section of field engineering staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, have been trained on the maintenance of an advanced circuit breakers that work better in protecting the transmission networks and its transformers from collapse across the various TCN substations.
The head transmission service provider TSP at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, who declared the training session open at the TCN headquarters in Abuja, said TCN has been procuring the circuit breakers in bulk from an Indian company, CG Power Solutions Limited. He noted that management decided that company officially examine the circuit breakers across TCN networks and train engineers on their maintenance strategies.
There is need for them to come to Nigeria and they go around our system and then offer advice on how to maintain these breakers so that they can last longer. So that is why they are here today. They have been to Lagos, and I know they have been to Enugu, Onitsha, so they are here in Abuja to equally address us and talk to us.
Engineer Adewumi urged the in-house engineers to be open to share their experiences with the trainer on use of the circuit breakers during the interactive and training session.
Whatever it is you expect with this breaker, please share it with them. That is the purpose of the collaboration. So I want to welcome all of you. Please listen to them attentively, ask questions. He's the expert. Of course, they want to continue to do business. It's a competition. So if their breaker is the best, why not? We'll be using them. That is why they are here. So listen to them attentively, and I believe at the end of this program, TCN will be better known for it. Thank you.
The head customer service department and trainer at CG Power Solutions Limited, India, Mr. Bipin Dive, lauded the management of TCN for the opportunity.
I am really thankful to the management of TCN for giving us an opportunity to be here to share the technical presentation on SF6 gas circuit breakers. It is indeed a pleasure to us, TCN being an esteemed organization, and due to the patronage of TCN, we have been in this market for over a decade now. We have been supplying our circuit breakers and switch gears to Nigeria for over a decade. And the best part of it that we have also experienced that the engineers of TCN have developed a lot of acquaintance and expertise over our products. And I hope that this training will definitely bring in more effectiveness.
Explaining the objectives of the training, he said it was an interactive session that allowed the engineers to ask questions and gain more experience about the requirements from CG Limited.
I'm very happy to note in my last two training programs at NTA Substation and Lagos that the engineers have really developed good knowledge and expertise on our breakers as they are using these products for over a decade now. But in any case, as the products grow old, there are certain issues that are bound to crop up in the products. And it is very important at that stage of life of the product that it should be maintained in such a way that it gives enhanced performance reliability. For that particular requirement, we'll be sharing with the engineers the basic maintenance aspects that should be taken care of so that the product life will be enhanced further. And we'll be also discussing on the overhauling aspects, which is a need at this point in time for the older installations which are over 10-12 years old now. So I'm hopeful we'll have a good interactive section on this.
During the training session, Mr. Bipin urged the participants to be enthusiastic about the training so they can learn from the vast experience of the original equipment manufacturer, OEM, of the circuit breakers.
During the course of this presentation, basically we will cover the basic construction of the circuit breaker, the operating principle, installation and commissioning procedures, faults and remedies, and the maintenance aspects of the circuit breakers. I would be appealing to you all, please, we all engineers being from the field, let us, interact with each other, ask several questions. Since you are using our circuit breakers for over several years now, I'm sure, we manufacture the breakers, but you are the actual users of these breakers. So we believe you have more knowledge than us. So particularly, how the breakers perform, what are your observations, what are your expectations? I would request you all to open and share with us.
The General Manager of Transmission Services at the corporate headquarters of TCN, Engineer Idris Alim, whose office coordinated the training, said the focus of the training was on the circuit breakers installed on 330 kV and 132 kV transmission substations across TCN networks. On the impact of the training, he said,
now they are getting knowledge from the contractor, so we hope with time there must be an improvement on the maintenance of this circuit breaker and also on the installation. Because during our discussion, we even told them, we have been buying a lot of this equipment from them. There is need for them to sacrifice and give us the breaker analyzer for use for the installation of this circuit breaker so that we can have a comprehensive test on that circuit breaker before commissioning it to service.
The trainer, Mr. Bimpin, took the participants to the field where he practically explained the maintenance process to them.
As I told, even small dust particles, if they get settled on the O-ring surface, that can it can leak, but leakage doesn't mean that it starts leaking tomorrow and entire gas leaks out. The leakage could be very, very minor. Very, very minor. Because small dust particles will not give more leakage, but it will definitely give small leakage, and we may get an alarm after 1.5 years or 2 years. But still that can be avoided by ensuring that we clean the joint thoroughly with the cleaning agent, clean the O-ring, apply new grease, put the O-ring and then fix it.
One of the participants, Abubakar Adams from Gusau Work Center of TCN, shared his experience on the training session.
The CG training has a really impact on my knowledge today. But before now, whenever we are trying to fill a gas in our station, we just go and connect direct. But for today, we're able to learn that when you want to, before connection, you have to allow some gas to pass through the pipe out first. So by doing that, that shows you have cleared some particles inside the pipe out. I think it's the one thing I've learned today. At the same time, proper installation of the CG circuit breaker has been taught, of which I'm okay with that.
Chinelo Kingsley Okeke, who works in the project implementation unit of TCN, expressed her delight on the training as she lauded the management for giving them the opportunity to be trained on the maintenance of the CG circuit breakers.
I've learned a lot of things today on this CG training, on circuit breaker, the maintenance of circuit breaker, when the gas leakage, how to control it. I've really learned a lot of in this circuit breaker training today. I thank the management for giving me the opportunity to learn on this circuit breaker today. And also, I will also plead to them to expand the training.
The Power Wheel team recently visited Dogongeri KNG Transmission Substation in Niger State, where the KNG hydropower plant is sited. The senior manager system operations of TCN at the substation, Engineer Abubakar Ahmed, in this interview speaks on how the substation operates. Do stay with us for details. What is the capacity of this substation?
We have 40 MVA by 2. 40 MVA by 2, which is approximately, to record, we can take 76 megawatts. We can take 76 megawatts. Presently, we have 2 radiating outgoing feeders, which is feeder 1 and feeder 6. Feeder 1 is feeding the injection station closer in the station there. It's closing closer to the station. It feeds the injection station of New Busa. So that injection station has 7.5 MVA, just one. And it has 3 outgoing, 11 kV outgoing feeders. 3 outgoing feeders, which is Township, Senior Camp, and Nasarawa. Then the feeder 6 is a 33415 outgoing feeders. They don't have injection substations. Their transformers there are 33415. That is from the station to a village called Yangba, 33415. Come to Army Barrack, 33415. You come to Wawa, 33415. You now take route to Kayama, which is from Wawa to Kayama is about 50 kilometers. And Kayama is in Kwara State. So which means we feed the neighboring state.
How does the substation interface with the distribution companies it serves?
Our relationship with the discos is fair because we don't have any business with each other. Ours is their feeder is out on fault, let them trace and clear the fault and feed us back. Or they have any major work to do, they'll come and take permit. We give them their station guarantee that this line is free for them to go and work. So we give them the permit, let them go and do their work and come and surrender to us, we restore.
Do you experience issues of energy load rejection in the substation?
Before, the generation is feeding the town and the environs on their station service, in which the capacity the town requires, they don't get it. They don't get it. So with the coming of the TCN and the Transisco, in fact, everything is okay. No road rejection, because it happened sometimes ago when there is such a thing to come up. That was 2017, around November, when a distribution man tried to put the town on load shedding. The youth in the town came to pursue the operator in the control room, took over the station. That is at the distribution end. It does not affect us.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. We're glad you followed through on this edition. Join us next week on the same station for another edition of Power Wheel. This episode and the previous ones, as always, are available on our YouTube channel. You can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. I am Chiwenwa Anyao. See you soon.